Welcome back to MidPoint. Also welcome back John Mancini, Executive Director of the Italic Institute of America, and Manuel Rosa-Colon, author of Columbus, The Untold Story. I wanted to make sure we got back to you, John, because I know that you were making some points and you were talking about different individuals as well. And again, please understand, we are not using this to hammer away at Italian Americans. We are simply looking for the truth with regard to Christopher Columbus, who Mr. Rosa-Colon and others have written a number of books stating that a lot of the things here simply are not true. Is this insulting to Italian Americans to even question the possibility that Columbus was who we believe he is?
Well, it's insulting to a point where it doesn't stop even when there's no proof. I mean, most of it is circumstantial evidence. The fact that they can't find anything that Columbus wrote in Italian. So they say, well, he wasn't Italian. Well, he might have been illiterate in Italian. He left Italy at an early age, but he worked with the Italian community in Spain. People have no idea the kind of investment that Italians put around Europe at that time. The Jews weren't the only ones with money. The Italian banks like the Medici and many from Genoa and Venice invested in Spain. They had bankers there in Seville and Cadiz. These were the people that funded Columbus. And he couldn't be funded if he didn't speak Italian, if he wasn't Italian. His brother Bartolomeo was there. I mean, the man was Italian.
All right, let's get now.
Manuel Rosa-Colon from Italian bankers if you're not.
Yes,
I want you to come in here as well, because there's a couple of points that he just touched on that I know that you've answered to, because you've even pointed out in your books that Columbus didn't use Italian in any of his letters. He didn't even write Italian to his brothers, correct?
That's right. That's true. So when he says that Columbus didn't write Italian because he never went to school in Italy, you got to understand that the traditional history says that Columbus came to Portugal at 25 years old. And so we have to accept that he went to school in Portugal at 25 years old instead of going to work. And aside from that, he did not write Italian, but he wrote Portuguese and Spanish, and he wrote some Greek and some Hebrew. And so we have a guy who supposedly lived 25 years in Genoa, but could not speak his mother tongue, but yet at 25 years old learned 4 different languages. That's just impossible. The fact that his 2 brothers also wrote in Spanish with Portuguese words mixed in states, proves that none of them knew how to write Italian. So it's impossible to believe that a guy who spent 25 years living in his motherland did not speak his own language.
Well, there's also a note here, and this comes from a couple of different reports, that apparently Columbus was what they call a marrano, which comes down to swine, if you will,
yes.
Practicing Catholicism outwardly while covertly practicing Judaism. And this comes down to those who believe that Christopher Columbus was Jewish. Is there any real evidence other than all of this supposition that that might be true?
There is no evidence at all. Simon Wiesenthal saw a couple of scribbles on some of Columbus's letters to his son, and he presumed that these were a Jewish blessing, that says, God bless you. In fact, I saw the same scribbles in the Queen Isabella's letters to Columbus, and I attribute those scribbles to some archivists later on. The fact that Columbus was a firm believer in Christianity is throughout all his letters, all his writings. He even wrote his own book of prophecies that is based on Christianity. He even talked bad about the Jews. So, there's no factual evidence to support that. He changed his name when he went to Spain. People said that he changed his name because he was a Jew. He didn't want the Queen Isabella to find out. In fact, the same time that Columbus moved to Spain, a very high-profile Jew from Portugal moved to Spain, Isaac Abravanel. Isaac was put in charge of collecting the taxes for Queen Isabella. He didn't have to hide that he was a Jew. Why would Columbus need to hide that he was a Jew?
I have about a minute left here. So, John, let me come back to you here, first of all, and just get your opinion on this. Seattle and Minneapolis have now recognized this day as Indigenous Peoples Day, choosing to move away from Christopher Columbus Day. What do you think about that, the whole idea of creating a day specifically for the people who were originally here?
Well, these are political moves. Obviously, there are more Indians up there than there are, say, in Staten Island, where they've just changed the Columbus Day Parade to an Italian festa. Once again, as I said in the beginning, Columbus was a man who changed the world. He and the rest of the Italian explorers changed the world. We use this day, Columbus Day, to emphasize that, not to have an Italian feast, not to emphasize Indian rituals, things like that. I mean, the Indians weren't innocent either. If they want to celebrate indigenous
and you wouldn't want Italian
America,
American
they'd have
Day
to
instead?
talk about their own cannibalism.
You wouldn't want Italian American Day instead?
No, I think it should be Columbus. It should be Explorers Day, the Italian explorers.
Okay, well, maybe we'll go to Explorers Day,
whatever name you want to give it, but it shouldn't devolve into a feast, because we have plenty of feasts.
Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you what, this is a spirited discussion to say the least, and I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this for a long time to come. John Mancini, Manuel Rosa-Colon, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and your opinions.
Thank you.
All right,
You're
later
welcome.
on this hour, Leon Panetta goes from criticizing the president to making a call for action. And after the break, the greatest fear the Chinese government has over current street fights in Hong Kong. It's on MidPoint.